morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us and taking time out of your busy schedule to be part of the inaugural oath of office ceremony for the next term of council. I'm Jennifer Willoughby, clerk for the town of Shelburne. There are additional senior staff members here with us tonight, including our CAO, Denise Morrissey, our treasurer, Carrie Holmes, and our Director of Development and Operations, Jim Moss. We have Reverend Gord Horsley from Abiding Place Ministries with us to assist with the oath of office. Reverend Horsley will also be providing an invocation this evening, and joining us on the bagpipes is Brendan Culver. Thanks, Brendan. I promise I won't keep you too long. Unfortunately, after everyone takes their oath tonight, we'll be able to have some time to enjoy some refreshments, but there's work to be done. We have a short council meeting scheduled to start at 7 o'clock. This term of council sees a significant change in members. With change comes fresh thinking, new ideas, personalities, and opinions. Staff is looking forward to working with the new members of council for the next 4-year term. It is our hope that collectively, the new council will provide a positive new vision for the future of Shelburne. So without further delay, we'll get started with the ceremony. First, we're going to rise and sing our national anthem. Next up is Reverend Horsley.
You may be seated. I want to thank you all for coming out, and as we celebrate these wonderful servants who are about to lay their lives down and serve us in a very special way. I don't mean like literally, but you understand. Today, as we celebrate this, I just also want to acknowledge and thank our past counselor for the last 4 years. So if we can give them a clap off. They've served us very well, and we thank them all for their service. But now we're celebrating the people that will replace them, that we voted for, that we believe in, that we trust will take us into our new journey in the next 4 years as our wonderful community is changing and growing, and so we look forward to that. So as we acknowledge Wayne Mills as our new mayor, Steve Anderson as our deputy mayor, councillors Walter Bernardo, Linda Buffett, Kyle Fegan, Lindsay Wagner, and Shane Hall. I made Lindsay Wagner before Shane Hall because she's always seems to be last. I felt for her. So. These people whom have chosen to serve our community in this very high calling knew what they're getting into, at least I hope they did, and know that they're in it for a good 4 years to serve us in the best of their abilities. But our responsibility is to pray for them, to encourage them, to lift them up, but not just them, but their families as well. We need to acknowledge that it's not just them who are coming to lead us and to sacrifice for us, but it's their families as well. I know with some of them we have young families, and it's a big sacrifice they're doing for our community. And we need to remember that as these wonderful people get together and lead us. So let's not forget to pray for them as well. The responsibilities that they have in the coming days are very great. They'll need lots of divine help, much wisdom, understanding, long-suffering, and great perseverance. As one of the spiritual leaders in our community, it's my honor to be here tonight. I and the other faith leaders have a responsibility in our community to pray for our council and our leaders and our mayor. But most importantly, to pray for their families as well. I'm asking God for His protection, His mercy, His grace to be poured on these wonderful folks that are leading us. And that they would have the wisdom, and that we ask on a daily basis that wisdom would be poured out to them so they would know how to make the right decisions for our community. I humbly have a little bit of advice, not that it might be very much, but being a leader for 27 years in the church, I've learned that our lives are not measured by our titles or the positions that we carry, but by our character, our integrity, our honesty, our morals and ethics, and the ability to serve others above ourselves. I believe that is what makes a good leader. In all my years, I don't know what a good leader is. Many people say, I know what a good leader is. I don't know what a good leader is, really. But I believe that a good leader is people like yourselves who are stepping into that position tonight, who have a willingness of heart to serve others beyond yourselves, and who, with the resources that you're given, and the time that you have, and the energy that God has given you, will do all that you can to serve our community to the best of your ability. And that's all we can ask. So tonight, as we celebrate this time of swearing you in to a heavy responsibility, I pray that God makes it light for you all and your families, and that He will be with you always. So at this time, I'd just like us to bow so we can pray for them. Father, we lift up the mayor, the deputy mayor, the councilors. We especially lift up their families. I pray that you would always give them times of rest, times of encouragement, times of peace. I pray as they would lead us that you would give them wisdom beyond their years. That, Father, that you would help them in those times where they're not sure which way to turn. That, Father, that you would speak to them in the depth of their heart. And that, Father, as you lead them and guide them, Lord, we as a community would lift them up, pray for them, encourage them, and, Father, believe in them, and know that they are trying to do the best they can for us as a community. So, Father, as we continue to grow, as we continue to change here in Shelburne, I pray, Lord, that you would just be in this place in a special way. Let our community be an example to many other communities. And I pray for the unity of our council as they work with the CAO and her staff, Father. I pray for the Works Department, the Police Department, the ambulances, and the Fire Department. I pray for the businesses. I pray for the residents of our community, that we would work with one heart and one mind to better our community for the sake of your glory. Father, I pray this in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you.
Please stay on the stage with me. We'll go ahead and start our oath of office for each councillor. Walter, you're first. In no particular order, but excited to go in alphabetical order.
I, Walter Donato, having been elected to the office of councillor in the municipality of the town of Shelburne, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or any other improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conference of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. I make this solemn promise and declaration, conscientiously believing it to be true, and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath.
I, Linda Buffett, having been elected to the office of councillor in the municipality of the town of Shelburne, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or in any other improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true alliance to Her Majesty the Queen Elizabeth II, and I make this solemn promise and declaration, conscientiously believing it to be true, and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath.
I, Shane Hall, have been elected to the office of councillor in the municipality of the town of Shelburne. I solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or in any other improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. I make this solemn promise and declaration, conscientiously believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath.
I, Kyle Fegan, having been elected to the office of councillor in the municipality of the town of Shelburne, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and I will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or in any other improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, and make this solemn promise and declaration, conscientiously believing it to be true, and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath.
I, Lindsay Wegener, having been elected to the office of councillor in the municipality of the town of Shelburne, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or in any other improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. I make this solemn promise and declaration conscientiously believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath.
I, Wade Mills, having been acclaimed to the office of mayor in the municipality of the town of Shelburne, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in biased, corrupt, or any other improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. I make this solemn promise and declaration, conscientiously believing it to be true, and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Before we start, you may have noticed that our newly elected Deputy Mayor Steve Anderson is not with us tonight. And that is because he's halfway around the world in Singapore at a foreign trip, rather, that was long planned. So because he couldn't be here, he did want to send a few greetings to mark the occasion. So if you'll just bear with us, we're just going to load a short video with some greetings from our new Deputy Mayor. Anyways, they're going to keep working on it, but in the interest of time, we'll forge ahead here. Members of Council, past and present, honored staff, Reverend Horsley, former Mayor Cruson, Warden Mills, friends and neighbors. If you'll indulge me for a moment, I just want to begin by thanking my family, as As Reverend Horsley alluded to, public service really does require an awful lot of support at home, and it certainly does become a family effort. So I can't express enough how much I appreciate the love and support from my wife, my parents, and the rest of my family, and I appreciate all of the support that you give and everything you do and continue to do. I also want to thank Mayor Bennington, Deputy Mayor Dunlop, Councillors Chambers and Sample. Thank you for your years of service to this community, and I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. We have just witnessed our new council officially take the solemn oaths of office, but this ceremony that we mark here today is far bigger than any of us as individuals, as it marks a commitment that we all must make as members of this community. Today we come together not just to witness an orderly transfer of power from one group of elected officials to another. Today we come together to affirm our commitment to transcend our differences, to meet our collective challenges, and to define our mutual dreams. We use this opportunity to take stock of who we are and what we stand for as a community, to remember where we came from, and to decide where we go from here. And we do all of this at a very important moment for our community, because ours is a time of change that is challenging old norms, applying new pressures, requiring novel approaches, and demanding more from all of us. But this change is not something that we should fear, because change itself is a law of life. And although it presents some challenges, it also opens up vast new horizons of opportunity and improvement. So no, we should not fear this change, but we must decide how we respond to it. At this critical juncture, we have the choice between passively allowing change to happen to us, or aggressively harnessing it and using it for our collective advantage. It's up to all of us to determine whether we allow our destiny to be written for us, or whether we choose to write it for ourselves. Although the current challenges we face as a result of our explosive growth may seem entirely new, they are in fact as old as Shelburne itself. When William Jelly and the other early settlers arrived in this place, containing the wilderness that it once was, it's hard to know exactly what they expected. It's probably safe to assume, however, that they never expected to see the population of their little settlement increase by nearly 1,000% in just 8 years. But that's exactly what happened. With the arrival of the railroad, this tiny settlement went from just 70 people in 1869 to 750 by 1877. But through this growth and change, our forebears were able to overcome. Their success demanded a strength of union and a commitment to a common cause, a recognition that people who have very different personal histories and backgrounds and cultures can come together to forge a shared future. They proved that despite their superficial differences, by standing shoulder to shoulder, they could, and they did, increase their collective bounty and build a great community in the process. Our current growth makes this true again and demands of us the same commitment to community building. It's now up to our generation to earn our heritage once again and carry on what those pioneers began. And in that effort, let us stay loyal to those timeless and enduring values that sustained our founders: hard work, tenacity, mutual respect, tolerance, and a willingness to chip in and pull together for the good of the community. These are the values that breathe life into our motto: a people place, a change of pace. And despite our growth, and despite our changing realities, let's not forsake these basic core tenets that have made our community what it is. But let's also never confuse our fidelity to those founding values with a stubborn unwillingness to explore new approaches. The very nature of our new reality demands that we seek and employ new strategies to tackle our new and uniquely complex problems, and we cannot hopelessly cling to outmoded ways of doing things just because that's the way it's always been done. In order to move, and in order to seize the destiny that we will write for ourselves, we will need strategies that are bold and innovative, and at times perhaps untested. If we are to embrace this path, then starting today, we must roll up our sleeves and get to work. Over the next 100 days, your new council and I will be setting to work to develop a comprehensive strategic plan that will define our collective priorities for the next 4 years. This is important for a couple of reasons. First, it allows us to define a clear roadmap to guide our strategic decisions and help us avoid unnecessary distractions and pitfalls along the way. Second, it also makes us more accountable as elected officials, since our progress can be regularly judged against a plan that we've committed to in writing. While this plan will truly be the collaborative product of a combined council effort, let me introduce a couple of the themes that I personally think are important. Number one, we should guide our strategies toward making our community as livable as possible. A truly livable community is one in which residents have the recreational, shopping, and entertainment amenities they need. It's a community that supports a vibrant arts and culture scene, one that is easy and safe to get around in by foot, by bike, by car, or even by bus. It's a community that values public safety and ensures the provision of efficient and effective emergency services to meet its needs. And it's a community that offers both its youth and its seniors what they need to enjoy a meaningful quality of life. Secondly, our priorities should promote sustainability, but this goes beyond just simply limiting our environmental footprint. A sustainable community takes a longer view of things when it comes to planning and strikes a healthy balance when it comes to growth. It ensures that investments are made to fill critical infrastructure gaps to protect the services that we all rely upon. And it's a community that is mindful of its long-term financial health by living within its means and recognizing the responsible limits of debt financing. Finally, our strategic action should aim to increase our community's prosperity. A prosperous community is one that is open for business and proactively works to attract investment and increase local employment opportunities. It's the community that values its local businesses and offers them the support they need to flourish. And a prosperous community is one with an attractive and vibrant downtown core that invites economic opportunity and encourages patrons to stop and shop. There's certainly no shortage of work to be done, but the council that you've elected is fresh and energetic and representative of our community. I'm incredibly optimistic about the promise and the ability of this talented group and of our staff, but I also know that we can't do it alone. We will need your support, your ideas, and your trust. And in return, we pledge to honor that support and that trust by acting with integrity and conducting the town's business in the light of day. We may not always agree on every issue, and that's fine, but council has a solemn responsibility to be open and upfront when it comes to the decisions we make and the reasons for making them. Our community's possibilities are limitless, and we can seize this defining moment so long as we seize it together. We cannot allow ourselves to become a community of strangers, so let it become a part of our collective DNA, this notion that no one should be left outside of the circle of community. Whether Shelburne has been home for 4 generations or for 4 weeks, we are all here now as a matter of choice, and we all deserve the same equal right to call this place home. So through our actions, let's demonstrate that this town is big enough, that our people are good enough, and that our hearts are big enough to foster a place of belonging for everyone. And in this effort, we can take a cue from nature. For just as the streams that flow from this headwaters region eventually intersect to form larger, stronger rivers, then in the same way, let us encourage the many different streams of culture and race and tradition that now exist in Shelburne to converge at a great confluence of community. A community that is made stronger and richer and more resilient through the unity of its many diverse and distinct parts. So with that in mind, let us set our compass true with a sense of confidence and a clarity of purpose, knowing what our destination is and how we plan to get there. It is a course we commit to not because it will be easy, but because it's necessary. Necessary to securing the kind of future we all want and ensuring that when we leave here, we can say that we have done our small part to make this place just a little bit better than when we found it. In the words of the poet Tennyson, we should be encouraged to strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield. So in that spirit, let us be bold enough, let us be brave enough, and let us be forward-thinking enough to embrace this course and seize the destiny that is ours to write for ourselves. Thank you.
Visiting his family in Singapore, he wished to convey his sincere gratitude and thanks for the colleagues he'll be working with. He wished all of you the best. He looks forward to coming back and working for the community and, I guess, being a part of the team. So what we're going to do is once we actually get a copy, we'll share it with the council, and we'll probably post it on our Facebook or make it available on our website. So we're so So sorry because we filmed this last week here, and honestly, it was working fine. So if it works before the end of the evening, we'll put it back up.
Thank you for your patience, everyone. Unfortunately, it's not going to work out, but as Denise said, we will try our best to post it online. Right now, we'll take some time to enjoy some refreshments, and Brendan, you can lead us out. Thank you, everyone, for coming.